Davis Webb today, the former backup quarterback, who someone told me who's pretty in the know in Denver, that this guy could still be a backup quarterback in the league. At 30 years old, he could be a backup for Josh Allen. He could be a backup anywhere in the league. He could still play, but he's such a freak when it comes to knowing coaching and wanting to coach. And he's such a savant that a lot of teams are looking at him saying, man, if we don't hire him now, we will lose him and never get him again. Like, he's the type of hire that you can hire Davis Webb if you get it right. And how do you get it right? You need good players. If you don't have good players, you're not going to get it right. But if you get it right with him, he could have a run, someone told me, like Sean Payton, 9 years with one team. So if the Raiders don't get him in the cycle and he gets hired, you might never see him again. That's why he's such an important potential candidate here. And we all know that. Secondly, when it comes to Davis Webb, he's doing a Zoom, from what I understand, from Denver, then coming to Vegas. He's not going to Buffalo and then flying to Vegas. You couldn't do that today. You can't do that today. Even if you're flying private, it's hard to get clearance to do that today. So he's coming to Vegas. And it gets down to that old rule that we've always talked about, that you've always heard. Don't let him leave the building if you want him. If it was Al Davis and he wanted you, remember Steve Sarkisian left the building and Al kept Lane Kiffin in the building. And that hire didn't work out, but the theory behind it did. He saw the guy that impressed him. He didn't let him leave. He hired him. And things like that could happen pretty quickly. So am I saying that Davis Webb is going to get the job tonight? No, but there's a chance. You better believe it. If he blows him away in this meeting in Vegas in front of Tom Brady and Mark Davis and John Spidek and the individuals in that meeting, he could get the job. And if he gets the job, I'm fine with it. I am fine with it. I've been leaning towards Kubiak the whole time. I think Kubiak's the guy, and he's not flamboyant, and he's probably not going to blow away anybody in an interview from what I've heard about his persona. But you saw the way he called that game in Seattle and some of the decisions that were made from an offensive perspective. And most Raider Nation thinks that Klint Kubiak probably could be the right call, but you got to wait till after the Super Bowl. And that's a risk. And I've been talking about that here for a couple of weeks, and I think we've owned that topic as good as anybody. Risk, reward. And I framed all the different risks and rewards that you can have in life. If you want to wait for something, you want to wait for your dream sweetheart, you better make sure they don't leave you at the altar, right? There is a term, leaving him at the altar. Do you know what that means? You're engaged to be married. It's your wedding day. Your parents are in the first pew, and she don't show. She don't show. And you know what? It's happened many, many, many times in real life on wedding days. And the groom's sitting there going, it's not The Hangover where the groom doesn't show up because he's hammered in Vegas and he misses his wedding. No, no, no. It's the gal, the bride, talking to her girlfriends and her mom, and they're saying, no, 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 you're good. You're good. We got you covered. You're not going to church. We're not going to get married today. Well, that's what's happening here. Kubiak might be perfect. It could be a done deal. They might have said wink, wink. They might have sat around with him, and Kubiak loves the Raiders. Tom likes Kubiak. He's called a lot of his games, and it's going to happen. We don't know that. We don't know what the relationship with Brady and Kubiak is. And Brady's very buttoned up, but now Brady's done broadcasting for Fox. Fox does not have the Super Bowl. Tom Brady is completely already been invested in this process. Now he's completely doesn't have a schedule conflict, even though he's got a lot going on. So if it's Kubiak, you got to have to wait. We're going to have to wait. We're not going to have a press conference show this week, and it won't be next week because it'll be the Super Bowl, and he's coaching in the Super Bowl. And we're going to have a long wait. But if you get the guy you want, you get the guy you want. And then you got LaFleur with the Rams, who I like his tree and where he came from, so you could go get him if you want him, if you believe in the McVay tree and where he's been in the past. Or you could look around at another big name today, Joe Brady. And Joe Brady, who worked with Josh Burrow at LSU and worked with Josh Allen. I talked to someone in Buffalo about this earlier today who's in the news. And, you know, when you get into this topic on what is Joe Brady? What could he end up doing? Is he the right guy at the right time? And I was kind of sniffing around on that topic today because that's what I like to do. And someone in the NFL said, similar to the OC from Jacksonville. Okay, young savant, brilliant, really sharp pick, high energy guy, bubble screens, loves them. Great for tight ends. Great relationship with Josh Allen, call plays, very emotional. All right, that could be the guy. Joe Brady could be the guy too. So we're down to about 3 or 4 guys. Why aren't we not talking about Sean McDermott today, who's still available, Clay? Sean McDermott's available? All of a sudden, you bring in a culture warrior changer. You get Sean McDermott, then you're just looking for an OC.